Good morning, Saints. That's church talk for good morning, YouTube. Well, I'm here to talk about Greenleaf. So, Greenleaf, season 2, episode 2. Okay, so this episode starts out with Kevin is in his hotel room. He's living outside of the house. Kevin, of course, is Charity's husband, her bisexual husband. Anyway, they show him living in a motel. Then we go to Darius. Lady May makes mention of this reporter who is reporting on the case, uh, all the problems that Calvary are having. So she called him out. I think one of the scenes from last week's episode, and now we meet him. So Darius is a reporter, and he has taken a liking to Grace. So he calls her and asks her out on a date. Initially, she says no, but then later on in the episode, she calls him. It's a good looking guy, so you know there's going to be something going on there. It would make him so handsome. But he kind of looks like Grace, actually. They make a decent couple. She calls him, and she says, no, I don't want to date you, but I want to talk about something. So I guess she's planning on I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Okay, I'll get back to those two in a minute. So Lady May tells Grace to fire Carlton. This is why she ends up calling this reporter, because she doesn't want to do it. They want her to fire Carlton because he is not only is he gay, but now he's married and he's open about his marriage. So people, the saints can see him on Facebook posing with his husband and things like that. And Grace doesn't want to do it. So I guess initially we're led to believe that she's calling him because she wants him to do a story on what's going on at Calvary as far as his choir director. Now he's been fired. This is his third church, and he's been fired from just because of his sexuality. Now let me say this right off top. There's one thing that can go wrong with this show with me, and I'm sure that we're not through with him. But if this story ends up making Kevin straight and making him leave the church, then throw him out, and then they kill that storyline, I'm gonna have a hard time with this thing because they're pushing this agenda. They showed Kevin in one of these ex-gay meetings, and everybody's all lovey-dovey, and the husband and wife in there holding hands and all that. And I said, well, that making that kind of sound like it's a good thing. So I mean, I'm rooting for Kevin and his wife. There's nothing to indicate that he doesn't love her. I haven't seen that yet. So if Kevin is bisexual, I think it can be worked out, and I'm rooting for them to get back together. But I don't think he got to be getting together with these ex-gay groups. Just be who you are. Now she knows who you are, and whatever. You got to have a Wednesday night out or whatever. How you work it out. I don't believe in those groups. I think they're harmful. To keep this same thing going for another 2,000 years is ridiculous to me. So anyway, May wants to get rid of it. I guess the people are not giving because they don't approve. They're gonna have to do something right. Is gonna have to prevail there, or I'm gonna have a hard time with the show. Although I love the show, so let me not jump ahead of it. All right. So May tells Grace. Okay. So Basie's Skanks is playing Jacob against Calvary. Okay. So Jacob confronts Basie's Skanks about the way he went about telling people that he had chosen him to be the pastor at his new church, right? And they kind of get into it a little bit. They're at his other church downtown, where he's still a pastor. And Jacob said, "I didn't like the way you did that," and he accused them of lying because Skank says that Skank is an oily character. I don't know why they're making him. That should not be a. I don't see him as a pastor. Now I know these people are these charismatic preachers and all that kind of stuff. He seems to me more like a player or numbers runner or something. Somebody in the game. I just don't see him as a pastor. He's too oily. But whatever. Their story, not mine. But So he checks Jacob, telling Jacob that he was a nobody at his father's church, sitting up on his father. Father didn't respect him, didn't advance him, and now Skanks has made him the pastor of a church in about 3 months. He's been good to him and giving him everything he wants. He said, "I respect that, and I thank you for that." That's what Jacob says. And Skanks telling him, "Well, don't call me a liar." Skanks sent this man out. He said, "I want you to go out into the neighborhoods and door to door and meet all of these people in this neighborhood." And Jacob tells him, "Well, those are all cavalry. They all attend cavalry, I'm pretty sure." And he said, "Yeah, yeah." Skanks is after Calvary's congregation. And Jacob, like a little step and fetching, goes out and goes house to house. He encounters some people. I guess he feels like he could win over, and he encounters a woman who she's loyal to Calvary, and she said he should be ashamed of himself. So yeah. So anyway, obviously, Basis Gangs is trying to bring down Calvary, and he's using this boy, who is the bishop's son, to do it. Okay, this guy is it Gaboret? Name is Gaboret, with the man with the flair for fashion. He likes Charity. And he is the producer for Charity. She's working on a new album. She feels like they can bring them out of the financial situation they're in. And Calvary gives him $50,000 to produce this CD. They're gonna sell a lot of records because the current state of records is you sell the concerts, you don't sell the records, you don't make money on records. Anyway, it's pretty obvious that he likes her and she's flirting with him. But where did that leave Kevin though? You see what I'm saying? Kevin is still very much in love with his wife. He wants to get back with her, and she has banned him, sent him off to an island somewhere emotionally. But so they may have to kill that storyline. He looks, I don't know, he seems gay to me. Maybe, I don't know. All right, Gaboret. Okay, Mac's calling Mac, child molester, is calling his sister May. He's been calling her phone 3 times, and she keeps telling him, "Stop calling me. I don't want you to call me." And apparently, he is. She's in the bishop's office. He calls. Bishop don't want to hear anything from me anyway. After all, the man was he was molesting his daughter, and he calls him to go to prison. So they are not friendly at all. But Matt's calling because their father is dying. He wants Matt to go see the father because he's on his deathbed. Uh, the bishop does go and see the man, doing his duties as a pastor, as the leader of the church. So he's there praying with him, and then Matt walks in. Matt attempts to speak to the bishop. And he said, "Stay away from me. The Bible told me I got to forgive you, but I'll never forget what you've done." They have their moment. Okay. But Bishop, basically, one of the reasons he went to see the father, May's father, is because he wants to know, did Basie Skanks, I forget the other guy, the father's name, but did he have a son? I don't remember him having a son. I remember him having 2 girls. So he's asking the father, did the man have a son? And of course, the man he barely speaks, so I'm not sure what he said to him. It sounds like he might have said the boy's name, so I don't know. So if you're still asking that, it's not clear that maybe Skanks is not even his real son. We don't know. People have babies outside of wedlock. Who is his mother? Ooh. Apparently, Bishop's had his wild days too. Not only with Mavis, but there was something going on with that deacon too, I believe. What's her name? Okay, Matt calls May. James, James the Leverson, whatever. The father, I'm just thinking of Macy's King's father's name. But Kevin attends one of them dumbass. I have a prejudice. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Keep that shit going. And just, I mean, I can understand these people. I mean, they want to be with their in their relationships. Maybe they have to go through a period where they're trying to change themselves. But I don't know. It just the whole thing, just all that convergent therapy, all that shit, just it annoys me. It makes me actually kind of angry. So they show him in one of these ex-gay meetings, and everybody seems so happy, and you gonna bring your wife and all that. So it's a complicated thing. I don't envy anybody being in that position, but I do want to see them together. Kevin seems like a decent guy, because by now, if he was gonna be some kind of asshole or just person obsessed with sex or something, they would have revealed it by now. So in reality, some people are bisexual. We have to accept that, and then uh, maybe they'll work that out. How that's going to work in his life. I don't think going to them ex-gay and changing, I'm changing my sexuality kind of stuff. I don't think that's the right way to go. But we'll see. But Greenleaf, putting you on notice, sonny. If you're gonna be turning everybody straight, getting rid of all the gays, or letting the gays get murdered, that is one way to lose my interest. So far, they're just being realistic. This is what goes on in church as far as church and the gay. It's part of the reason I'm watching it. But if you're going to be getting all oogie oogie with the religious stuff, that frustrates me. Anyway, okay. So he confronts Charity about why she's giving him the cold shoulder for so long. Their baby has had a rash. He didn't know about the rash. He found out from a secretary about the baby has been sick. He confronts her. That's my son as well. And he breaks her down. They have a scene where they're kind of strolling down memory lane, remember what it was like between them, and they make up. And she invites him to sleep in the house, which is nice. I kind of like that. Yeah. Anyway, okay, Jacob is in the fight with Basie. Okay, Bishop and Jacob have a scene at this point. Jacob's about to move. They move it to this low rent type neighborhood. Not a low, I mean, just a middle class neighborhood, but it's a huge step down from where they live on this estate. And the wife is not happy about it. She don't not. She looked at the house. She looked at it like she was looking at a shack in the woods somewhere. I mean, it's just a regular old starter home, but they're used to the good life. So it looks like, well, are they going to make up? Because May wants them to make up. You know, Jacob is May's favorite, and she gets along okay with Charity, but she don't like uh, Grace at all. Grace is his favorite, and he gets along also with Charity, but he can't stand his son, or they don't get along at all. They Whatever the reason, he doesn't uh, want to elevate him. It's unclear. He said he's not called. I think basically he felt that Grace has been stepped over. He felt like May has been pushing the kid on him. But the guy, I mean, he showed some talent when he was for working for Trinity. It sounds like he's going to be Calvary. What is it? Trinity, New Church, Trinity 2. It sounds like he might be a talented man. So they got lots of stories to work on in this thing. Lots of stories to build on. But they move out, Jacob and his wife, to this little house. Okay. Oh, and so when they had their confrontation, uh, Jacob tells him that Basis Gank, it might be Homie the Clown, Maybe he's a fool, but uh, at least he's not a false prophet. Now that is saying a lot because if I was looking at Becky Skanks, I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that he is not a false prophet at all. That dude he just irritates the shit out of me. He's like a pulpit pimp, just like a shady character. Just from the very time we are met, we meet him. He's been like a uh, scandalous character. It just we already know that he's after the bishop. They now they reveal to us why, because his father was the man who was burned in the fire. But he just doesn't seem like a sincere person at all. And Jacob's just going right up behind him because I guess he wants to show his father who he is. He's going to put him in direct conflict with his father, this Skanks guy. So I have a feeling that they'll eventually work it out. I mean, that is his son, so and he was raised in a church. Anyway, okay. May fires Carlton. He's been through this before. She uses the excuse that they're cutting back on for financial reasons. That you know they have to cut back on personnel. But he knows it's got something to do. He says, "Guys, how do you feel about gay marriage? Are you against it?" So this is a new thing, of course. Gay marriage has been around a couple of years now, and so I guess I'm not involved in one of those big churches or straight heterosexual churches. So I'm not sure how it's working there, but I guess these writers probably know a little more about it than I do. I choose to go to a gay church, or most gay people there. But so maybe people are going through this adjustment, and hard to watch, but it is what it is. Anyway, so she fires him. Grace said she would do it, but she didn't want to do it, but she would do it. But May told her, "I already did it. Don't worry about it." So that's when Grace made her phone call to this reporter. I guess she was gonna have him do a story about it, but they ended up just dating. So Grace has got a boyfriend. They only went on one date, but it was he said he wants to see her again, and she says yes. So we got a new character here. He's a big actor too. I don't know his name, but he's a well-known actor. Okay, Grace shows up at Cal- Carlton's house. Him and his husband are fixing the car. Husband's got an attitude because he has to see his obviously his lover has been hurt, but his church again, another church. She comes and she invites him to, even though he's not going to be a part of the music ministry, to attend the church. So she got her a couple of fights. They have an ally. I guess they're gonna have. She said the only way you're gonna change things is if you by being there. So I can see that there's all kind of story that can be built on that. If they'll continue to come to the church, even in spite of the people's hatred, they gotta work it out. He doesn't say whether he'll do it or not. They leave it like that. Is there anything else? Okay, Miss Sophia. Miss Sophia. She's Grace's daughter. She's a cute little girl. I guess she's about 15, 16 years old. And she likes this little gospel singer. He's a young boy, but I guess he's a very popular singer. Dances a lot and stuff. He was in last week's episode. She's got a crush on him, and she is she's a little girl. She gets up enough. enough. She approaches him. No, he approaches her actually. He invites her to one of his concerts or rehearsals, and so her and her cousin, which is Jacob's daughter, they both go to his rehearsal, right? It's obviously Sophia really likes this guy. She's got a crush on him, and he likes the other one. He likes what's her name? The other little girl, Zora. Zora is Jacob's. I'll get all these names after watching a couple times, a few times. But anyway, I think her name is Zora, the cousin. And it's very obvious that he likes her. So I guess Sophia gonna get her little feelings hurt. All right, Jacob's wife hates the house. Yeah, so our only issue is just this ex-gay agenda thing. I thought those things had dissolved, all those little groups. I mean, God bless them. We have to be open enough to allow people, just like I wanted them to let me be me, they can be them. So if it's something that works for you, work it. God bless you. Maybe I'll learn something in this that I'm not already aware of. Could happen. Okay, so that's a drama. Good episode. I'll see you next week.